Hello guys, this is Pustakverma and you are watching Pustakverma Education for All YouTube channel. Today we are gonna discuss about an essay The Medusa and the Snail from Unit 12 Animal Words, Grade 12 Compulsory English New Course and Grammatical Portion Passive Voice. Here Medusa refers to the species of a jellyfish and the snail refers to चिप्ले किरा भन्ने गर्छौँ हामीले. So before dealing with the chapter the Medusa and the snail, we will discuss about the questions mentioned in our text. So the questions are, in question A, what do these figures mean or what do these pictures mean? यो दुईवटा पिक्चर छन्, यिनीहरूले के इन्डिकेट गर्छन्? The first picture denotes people in white color are sitting in a line and only one black colored man is standing in the middle, which indicates partiality or discrimination, or he is trying to do something new as well. The second picture indicates a chain of bricks arranged in a circle in a way in which if one falls down, others will automatically fall down. Question B. How are they different? How these two figures are different? They are different in the sense the first picture displays the discrimination to the person who denies the groups, while the second picture denotes the significance of unity and collaboration required for standing and working together. Then this is the Medusa or a species of jellyfish and another one is the snail. How they are interdependent to each other for the survival and existence. So that we will find in this chapter. Glossaries are difficult terms is transiently lasting for a short time, क्षणिक ambiguity, uncertainty, elude, call attention, आकर्षित गर्नु, segregate, isolated from, अरूबाट अलग गर्नु, swathe, a type of plant, ethos, characteristics of spirit of a culture, लोकाचार, species and coastland, these two reporters, macroorganism, bacteria or virus, सूक्ष्मजीवी, eccentrics, unconventional or strange view, विलक्षण, tumble, sudden fall, flagly, a long whip-like appendage is antibody, a protein produced by the body's immune system, trill भनेको act of spinning घुमाउरो, glycoproteins, a class of protein that contains carbohydrate, lectin, protein that bind to carbohydrate, negotiating, compromise, वार्ता गर्दै, nodules, small swelling cells, legumes, a types of fruit like peas, affinity भनेको closeness, आत्मीयता, polyps भनेको colonial sedentary form of a colentrata, and olfactory भनेको related to smell, locus, a curve, immunologic, a disease related to immune system, erythrocyte, a red blood cell, monstrous, frightening appearance, progeny, genie, descendant, finicky and fastidious, anemo, a plant that buttercups, a family with brightly colored flowers, exquisitely large degree, configuration, arrangement, nudibranch, necked gills, medusa, types of jellyfish, slug, चिप्लेगिराको is larvas is parasite, and organism lives on another organism, marine, samudri, abundance, large quantity, persist, entrapped, cast, and engulfed, trapped, फसेको, humiliations, act of being humiliated, tentacles, flexible limbs, bizarre, unusuals, vaguely uncertain. These are the glossaries, are difficult terms from the text. So then about the main points of Medusa and the snail. The author opens this essay, the Medusa and the snail, with several indicators. भनेको सूचकहरू, विभिन्न सूचकहरूको साथमा यो के हुन्छ, च्याप्टर ओपन हुन्छ. Mentioned in the popular magazine books sessions about the self-realization, self-help, self-dependent, self-awareness, self-respect, self-enlightenment, etc., which makes people self-conscious about themselves in these days. Then he talks about the self, identity, especially self, by connecting it to the real name given to the people. Thus, opening of the chapter, opening of the essay, the author basically talks about significance of self. He states that we all human beings are not really unique. हामी कोही पनि unique छैनौँ, because uniqueness is so commonplace a property of living beings that there is really nothing at all unique about it. Phenomenon cannot be unique and universal at the same time. Spudich and Coastland have recently reported, these two people have reported that microorganisms of the same species are likely to like solitary eccentrics in their swimming behavior. कोही कोही जनावरले के हुन्छन् एक्लोपना लाइक गर्छन्, कोही कोही जनावर वान साइडेड जान्छन्, कोही कोही जनावर अर्को साइडमा खोजीमा जान्छन्, त्यो कुरालाई के गर्छ रिप्रेजेन्ट गर्छ. बट वाइल सर्चिङ फर फुड सम टम्बल इन वान डिरेक्सन, कोही एउटा दिशातिर जान्छन् प्रिसाइडली सो मेनी सेकेन्ड्स बिफोर क्विटिङ, अदर टम्बल डिफ्रेन्ट एन्ड फर डिफ्रेन्ट. फिस क्यान टेल इच अदर अपार्ट एज इन्डिभिजुअल्स बाई द स्मेल. फिसले के गर्छ स्मेलको मद्दतले एकअर्कालाई इन्डिभिजुअललाई रिकग्नाइज गर्ने गर्छन्. सो क्यान माइस, मुसाले पनि त्यस्तै गर्छ. एन्ड हियर अल्फ्याक्ट्री भनेको स्मेल इज डिस्क्रिमिनेसन इज गभर्न बाई द सेम एज टु लोकस एज वेल. यो किराले पनि गर्ने गर्छ. द ओन्ली लिभिङ युनिट्स द्याट सिम्स टु हेभ नो सेन्स अफ प्राइभेसी एट अल आर न्युक्लिएटेड सेल. यसमा मात्र के हुन्छ त एउटा सेन्स हुँदैन, न्युक्लिएटेड सेल्सको हुँदैन. Then the author presents the best story he has heard about the nudibranchs and Medusa. In दुईटाको बेस्ट स्टोरीको बारेमा उनले डिल गर्छ. Living in the Bay of Naples. The Medusa is a tiny jellyfish. Medusa भनेको species of jellyfish हो that lives on the ventral surface of the sea slug found in the Bay of Naples, which metaphorically deals with the eternal issue of life and death. कसरी, how, thus, snail and the Medusa depend upon each other for survival and existence, for life and death. That is basically presented in this chapter. The snail produces snail larva. Snail snail larva produce गर्छ and these two begins to grow normally. बिस्तारै यिनीहरू बढ्दै सुरु गर्छन् but not for long. While still extremely small, they become the entrapped in the tentacles. जब तिनीहरू सानो हुन्छन् जेलीफिसको टेन्टेकल्समा फस्छन् अनि देन इन्गल्फेड विदिन द अम्ब्रेला सेप्ड बडी, तिनीहरूलाई फसाएर के गर्छ जेलीफिसले के गर्छ ट्र्याप्ड गरेको हुन्छ. बट फर्स्ट मेडुसा आर द प्रिडेटर्स. पहिला मेडुसाले के गरेको हुन्छ मेडुसाले के गरेको हुन्छ स्नेलको बच्चा लार्भाहरूलाई के गर्छ खाने गर्छ. स्नेल आर द प्रे. स्नेलहरू शिकारी हुन्छन्. शिकारी भनेको मेडुसा आर जेलीफिस हुन्छ. बट नो सुन द स्नेल अनडाइजेस्टेड एन्ड इनसेटिएबल बिगन टु इट. जब उसको लार्भाहरू ठुलो हुँदै जान्छन्, स्नेलहरू ठुलो हुँदै जान्छन्, ब्रोजिङ अवे फर्स्ट एन्ड रेडिकल क्यानल्स देन द बोर्डर्स अफ द रिम फाइनली द टेन्टेकल्स. बिस्तारै बिस्तारै जब उनीहरू स्नेलहरू ठुलो हुन्छन् त्यसले टेन्टेकल्सहरूलाई समात्दै खाँदै खाँदै जान्छन्. एन्ड अन्टिल द जेलीफिस बिकम अ रेड्युस सब्सटेन्स by being eaten while the snail grows correspondingly size. पहिला सानो छँदाखेरि जेलीफिसले के गर्छ स्नेलको लार्भाहरूलाई खाने गर्छ. जब लार्भाहरू के हुन्छन् अट्याच हुन्छन् स्नेल उसको जेलीफिसको टेन्टेकल्समा, त्यसपछि तिनीहरूले टेन्टेकल्स खाँदा खाँदा जेलीफिसको एउटा थोरै के हुन्छ माउथ मात्र के हुन्छ बच्छ. यसरी बोथ के हुन्छ दुवै साइडमा. एट द एन्ड अरेन्जमेन्ट इज ब्याक एन्ड द फर्स्ट इज सिन विथ फुल ग्रोन nudibranch basking and nothing left of the jellyfish. पहिला जेलीफिसले खाएको हुन्छ, पछि जब यिनीहरू ठुला हुन्छन् स्नेलले जेलीफिसले खाएको हुन्छ. सक्सेसफुल्ली एडिटेड प्यारासाइट. उनीहरू एकअर्कामाथि निर्भर हुन्छन् बाँच्नको लागि. सेफली एफिक्सेड टु द सीन नियर द माउथ. इट इज पार्टिकुलरली एक्स्ट्राअर्डिनरी टेल अफ म्याच्योर जेलीफिस इन्गल्फिङ अ न्यू टाइनी हेस्टस्लग. म्याच्योर जेलीफिसले सानो ह्याच गरेको कोरालेको सानो जुन लार्भा हुन्छ त्यो स्नेलको खाइदिन्छ. only to be devoured bit by bit until the snail dominates. पछि स्नेल डोमिनेट गर्छ र जेलीफिस रिड्युस हुन्छ. यसरी सक्सेसफुली एडिटेड प्यारासाइट एफिक्सेड टु द स्किन नियर द स्नेल अफ माउथ. यसरी दुईटै जेलीफिस के हुन्छ फर लाइफ एन्ड एक्जिस्टेन्स डिपेन्डेड अपन द स्नेल्स एन्ड स्नेल कम्प्लिटली डिपेन्डेड अपन द जेलीफिस. This story confuses both. Creatures are digested for this encounter marked as the slave selves so that they can find each other in the water of the Bay of Naples. त्यो ठाउँमा तिनीहरू वाटर अफ बे अफ नेपाल्समा यिनीहरूको यस्तो एक्टिभिटिजहरू हेर्न पाइन्छ. एन्ड मोर सरप्राइजिङली दे क्यानट लिभ इन एनी अदर वे. तिनीहरूको जीवन नै के छ एकअर्कामाथि डिपेन्ड हुन्छ, अरू तरिकाले बाँच्न सक्दैनन्. दे डिपेन्ड फर their survival on each other. They are not really selves, they are specific others. तिनीहरू आफूमाथि डिपेन्डेन्ट छैनन्, they are interdependent छन्. The mix up two selves tells us the story about identity, and they are a single organism and they need cooperation and unity to each other for existence and survival. एकअर्काको सहयोग चाहिन्छ. Thus the author illustrate by this story, the authors illustrate value of coexistence. यदि हामीले बाँच्नु छ भने we should depend upon the each other. Cooperation, helpfulness, collaboration, togetherness with the tale of the nudibranchs and the Medusa. It also projects the significance of friendship and dependence on each other for the survival and existence. This is the main moral lesson that this story, the Medusa and the snail, represents. The author is thus disturbed by the thoughts of the creatures like the nudibranch and the Medusa because it provides him an odd feeling. When he confuses भइहाल्छन् कसरी एउटा अर्कोमाथि के हुन्छ, these all looks like the dream. By they remind me of the whole earth at once. यसले गर्दा अथर के हुन्छ, होल सबै अर्थलाई अर्थको एक्टिभिटिजलाई के हुन्छ, रिमेम्बर गर्छन्. The author writer means to state that it is very complicated and bizarre to justify the relationship between among the creatures and non-livings of the world. संसारमा भएका क्रिएचर्स प्राणीहरू लिभिङ नन लिभिङ थिङ्सहरूको जो रिलेसन छ त्यो एकदमै कम्प्लिकेटेड छ, भेरी डिफिकल्ट टु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड. द मोर वान ट्राइज टु अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड, जति बढी एउटाले बुझ्न खोज्छ द मोर हि आर सी गेट कन्फ्युज. अबोभ अल थोमस conveys his observations of the scientific world in prose marked by wonder and wit. यस्तो तरिकाले उनले के गरेछन्, स्टोरीलाई प्रेजेन्ट गरेका छन्. Then here is the figures you can get very easily is how the snail is having is this jellyfish and how the snail and jellyfish are dependent upon to each other. These all figures indicates very clearly. Then the working with the words. First read the text and take the best answers, best alternative to fill in the blanks. Persons, first question number A. Persons who are related to you and who live after you, such as your child or grandchild, is known as descendant. Yes. B means to turn or spin, भनेको घुम्नु जसलाई ट्रेल भन्छ. And are proteins which contains oligosaccharide chains attached to amino acid side chains. यसलाई ग्लिकोप्रोटिन्स भन्छौँ. Are the carbohydrate binding proteins that are highly specific for sugar groups and that are the part of other molecules and so cause agglutinations of the particular cell, that is lectins. Lectins are the carbohydrate binding proteins. Then about question number E, are the abnormal tissues growth that most often look like small flat lump and teeny mushroom like stalks found in the phylum Syndria and the Medusa? And the answer is polyps. Is a biological interaction. This predation भनेको शिकारी is a biological interaction where one organism or predator kills its another organism its prey. Is a genes of flowering plant anemone is finky, and a finky person is extremely or excessively particular exacting or meticulous in taste and standards. Is a group of soft bodied nudibranchs, marine gastropod mollusca and which set their cells. Cell को साथमा हुन्छ जसलाई हामीले के भन्छौँ, snail पनि भन्छौँ. And this Medusa is a free swimming sexual form of coelenterate such as a jellyfish, typically having an umbrella shaped body with stinging tentacles around the edge. So these are the questions. Then about B, look up the dictionary and write the meaning of the following words, then use them in their own sentences. First one, arthropoda भन्छौँ, arthropod लेखेको छ, and invertebrate animal of the large phylum arthropoda such as insect, spider. Then gastropod is a large class of molluscs as snails. Biomass is the weight of total quantity of living organism of one animal or plant species. Calcification is a process in which calcium builds up body tissues, causing the tissues to harden. Metamorphosis, it is the process of transformation from one immature form to an adult form. Sturgeon is a large primitive fish with bony plates in their bodies. So these are the terms related to science as well biology. Comprehension. Answer the following question. What are the indicators? के सूचकहरू रहेका छन् that we are very self-conscious about ourselves these days? त अहिलेको लागि हामी कन्सियस हुनुको सूचकहरू सेल्फ रियलाइजेसन, सेल्फ हेल्प, सेल्फ डेभलपमेन्ट, सेल्फ अवेरनेस, सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट एन्ड सेल्फ इन्लाइटमेन्ट. etc. taught by the popular magazine, books and sessions are the indicators in your main सूचक of the सूचकहरू रहेका छन्. We are very self-conscious about ourselves these days. How have you celebrated the fact that we have our individual identity? हामी कसरी सेलिब्रेट गर्छौँ कि हामी इन्डिभिजुअल आइडेन्टिटी लिएका छौँ. We have celebrated the fact that we have our individual identity by giving ourselves a real name. By the help of name, we consider ourselves as the individual identity. Are we human beings really unique? के हामी साँच्चीकै युनिक छौँ? Why not? So as part of the text, no, we human beings are not really unique because uniqueness is a commonplace or a property of living beings, that there is really nothing all unique about it. The phenomenon cannot be unique and universal at the same time. Question number D. How do fish recognize each other? By the help of smell or olfactory. What is the function of individual? Function of individual is self-preservation and to maintain individuality. Then about question number F. How does the mix of the two selves tell about our identity? Mix of two selves tell us about our identity that they are not a single organism. They need cooperation, unity to each other for existence and survival. What does the author illustrate? Authorले के प्रश्न पार्छन् with the tale of Nudibranch and the Medusa. Nudibranch the Medusa च्याप्टरबाट उनले के देखाउन खोजेका छन्? हामीलाई के हुन्छ? We people require coexistence, cooperation, helpfulness, collaborativeness, togetherness with the tale of Nudibranch and Medusa. Furthermore, उनले के गर्छन्? The significance of friendship, significance of dependence. We people, how we people, interdependence. यो कुरालाई के गर्छ त? यस स्टोरीद्वारा, by the help of this story of Nudibranch and Medusa, the author tries to convey. Why is author disturbed by the thoughts of creatures like Nudibranch and Medusa? किन त उनी किन डिस्टर्ब हुन्छन्? Because he couldn't understand. उनी बुझ्न सक्दैनन्. त्यसको मेन प्रब्लम के हुन्छ? First, jellyfish eats the larvae of snail, but later on, same snail as they grow up, they eats the tentacles of jellyfish and finishes it. So this confuses the readers as well as the writer. The author is disturbed by the thought of creatures like Nudibranch and Medusa because it provides him an odd feeling and confuses him with vague and bizarre concepts like the dream. Question number E. What does the writer mean? They remind me of the whole earth at once. By this, the author remembers the whole thing, whole activities of the earth. The author means to state that it is very complicated and bizarre just to justify the relationship between and among the creatures and the non-living things of the world. The more one tries to understand, the more he or she gets confused. So then about critical thinking. Question A. How does the author make satire and the modern idea of self? कसरी राइटरले हामीले जो सेल्फ आफ्नो आइडेन्टिटीको कुरा गर्छौँ त्यसलाई कसरी व्यङ्ग्य गरेका छन्? बेस्ड अन इन्डिभिजुअलिटी, इन्डिपेन्डेन्स एन्ड युनिकनेस. हामी भन्छौँ हामी युनिक छौँ, हामी इन्डिपेन्डेन्स छौँ, हामी इन्डिभिजुअल छौँ, त्यसलाई कसरी सेटायर गरेका छन्? राइटरले यसमाथि सेटायर गर्न एउटा फाइन इक्जाम्पल स्टोरी अफ के गर्छन् त? मेडुसा एन्ड द स्नेललाई लिन्छन्. दिस आर्टिकल द मेडुसा एन्ड द स्नेल लेविस थोमस satires and the Lewis Thomas satires and the these satires and the modern idea of self based on individuality, independence and uniqueness by presenting the close relationship between the nudibranch and the Medusa living in the Bay of Naples. A mature jellyfish engulfs a tiny newly hatched slug, only to be devoured bit by bit until the snail dominates the jellyfish to reduce it around. पहिला के गर्छ जेलीफिसले स्नेलको के गर्छ हाम्रो लार्भाहरूलाई खान्छ. जब स्नेल ग्रो अप हुन्छन् यसले के गरिदिन्छ जेलीफिसको टेन्टेकल्सलाई खाइदिन्छ. द सक्सेसफुली एडिटेड प्यारासाइट एफेक्टेड टु द स्किन नियर द स्नेल्स माउथ. Finally, tentacles until the jellyfish becomes reduced to substance by being eaten while the snail grows correspondingly in size. पहिला जेलीफिस बढ्छ त्यसपछि स्नेल बढ्छ. जेलीफिसले स्नेललाई खान्छ, स्नेलले के गर्छ जेलीफिसलाई खाइदिन्छ. This story projects how creatures cannot live in any other way. They depend for their survival on each other. The author illustrates the values of coexistence, cooperation, helpfulness, collaboration and togetherness with the tale of Nudibranch and Medusa. It also projects the significance of friendship and dependence on each other for the survival and existence. Through this, the author justifies that modern people's pride over the concept of individuality, independence and uniqueness is not applicable in the real or practical life of them. This is the snail and this is jellyfish. First, jellyfish eats the snail as it is in larva form. Later, as the snail grows up, it eats the tentacles and then limited the jellyfish is limited to this one. In this way, they depend upon each other for survival and existence. The question number B. Analyze the essay as a creative defense of interdependence observed in the ecosystem. अहिलेको इकोसिस्टममा कसरी एनिमलहरू क्रिएचर्सहरू एकअर्कामाथि इन्टरडिपेन्डेन्ट छन्. द एस्से मेडुसा एन्ड द सेल बाई लेविस टमस इज presented as a creative defense of interdependence observed in the ecosystem. By presenting the relationship between the jellyfish and the snail in the Bay of Naples, their dependence on each other for the survival and existence signifies how interdependent is observed in the ecosystem. Interdependence emphasizes how people and animals relate with each other. यो भनेको के हो, कसरी मान्छेहरू एकअर्कामाथि डिपेन्ड छन् and get on well with existing norms of their life and society. It instills the idea that the people are not alone in attempt to mental growth or development. मान्छे एक्लै केही पनि गर्न सक्दैन अथवा क्रिएचर्स एक्लै पनि गर्न सक्दैन. Rather, they are provided with the support for one another to grow socially. It also promotes social and meaningful relationship and strong ties between the individual, both personal and professional. Furthermore, the author states that ecosystem is finely connected. Ecosystem के छ त एकदमै राम्रो कनेक्टेड छ to each other for protection and preservation. हामी के हुनुपर्छ, living creatures they should depend upon each other for survival. The same case is found in this is Medusa and Snail as well. They interconnect. The right essay finally interconnect these two species living in the Bay of Naples, which interdependent not only justified their survival and existence but also the balance in the ecosystem. यसले तिनीहरूको सर्भाइभल र एक्जिस्टेन्सलाई मात्र जस्टिफाई गर्दैन, बरु इकोसिस्टमलाई पनि के गर्छ त ब्यालेन्स राख्ने गर्छ. So this is first, larvae are small. जेलीफिसले लार्भाजलाई खान्छ. जब लार्भाजहरू ठुलो हुन्छन् जेलीफिसको के हुन्छ, टेन्टेकल्सलाई खान्छन्. Here is Medusa eating larvae of snail and snail eating the Medusa. Then the writing is write an essay on independence versus interdependence in about 250 words. So here you have to know that what is independence and what is interdependence. There are usually two perceptions that people usually have about themselves regarding their relationship with others. The first one is independent self-concept, where individual's conception about his or her existence is that he or she exists separate from others. Independence भनेको उसे अरूभन्दा फरक छ. The second perception is interdependent self-concept, where a person is affiliated or feels connected with others. एउटामा मान्छे सेल्फ हुन्छ, अर्कोमा अर्कोसँग कनेक्टेड हुन्छ. These both independence and interdependent perceptions have their own merit and demerit. The main tenets of interdependence self-concept is reliance on that exists among the individuals in the society for survival and mutual development. Furthermore, it instills the idea that people are not alone in their attempt to mental growth and development. Rather, they are provided with the supporters for the another growth and to grow is socially. भनेको मान्छे समाजमा ग्रो अप हुनको लागि एकअर्काको सपोर्ट लिइरहेको हुन्छ. सेम केसलाई अहिले पनि रिप्रेजेन्ट गर्छ. And it promotes the responsibility of sharing by encouraging individuals to take various roles which contributes to the development and growth of the society as a whole. Interdependent self-concept is also crucial for overcoming fear. On the other hand, के भन्छ, independent self-ले के गर्छ त, concept focus on the individual's internal characteristics. ऊ आफै युनिक छ, डिस्टिङ छ, उसको सेल्फ कन्फिडेन्स इन्करेज गर्छ, सेल्फ स्टिम आत्मसम्मानको कुरा गर्छ, बर्डनलाई डिक्रिज गर्छ. यसरी के गर्छ, सेल्फ भ्यालु र सेल्फ स्टिमको कुरा गर्छ. Interdependence emphasizes on how people relate with each other and get on well with existing norms of the society, which dictates how people relate, whereas independence builds on self-confidence or confidence for the personality development. Both are equally significant for overall development of the society of the nation. यहाँ तीनवटा टर्म छ. डिपेन्डेन्स भनेको के हो, वान निड्स अदर टु गेट वाट ही अर सी वान्ट्स बाई यु, अरूले गर्ने हो. इन्टरडिपेन्डेन्स भनेको वान गेट्स वाट ही अर सी वान्ट्स थ्रु हिज अर हर ओन एफोर्ट, यो आफै गर्ने हो. इन्डिपेन्डेन्समा आफै गर्ने हो, डिपेन्डेन्समा अरूले गरिदिने हो, र इन्टरडिपेन्डेन्समा टुगेदर दुईटाले मिलेर गर्ने हो. फरक के छ, डिपेन्डेन्स अर्कोले गरिदिने हो, इन्डिपेन्डेन्स आफैले गर्ने हो, इन्टरडिपेन्डेन्स दुईटाले मिलेर गर्ने हो भनेछ. गड माथि के छन् त, अथवा यिनीहरू इन्डिपेन्डेन्स छन्, स्वतन्त्र छन्. अब यहाँ के छ, यिनीहरू इन्टरडिपेन्डेन्स छन्, एकअर्कामाथि आधारित छन्. यो यसरी देखाएको छ. फिगर अल्सो प्रोजेक्ट इन्टरडिपेन्डेन्स इज हायर भ्यालु देन इन्डिपेन्डेन्स। स्टेफन कोभेले के भनेका छन्? इन्टरडिपेन्डेन्सको हायर भ्यालु छ। इन्टरडिपेन्डेन्सले मान्छेलाई के हुन्छ? सोसाइटीमा बस्न, लड्न गर्न र अगाडि बढ्नमा के गरेको हुन्छ? सहयोग गरेको हुन्छ। Then the writing is write a newspaper article highlighting increasing individualism in modern human Nepalese society. अहिले के छ? इन्डिभिजुअलिजम आर इन्डिपेन्डेन्स जो बढिरहेको छ त्यसको बारेमा के गर्ने? लेख्ने। Individualism is a freedom to do what we want as independent people. It is important because if everyone was able to pursue their own goals, then we will have a stronger society as a whole. यदि हामी सबले काम गर्न थाल्यौँ, इन्डिभिजुअलिजमलाई फोकस गर्न थाल्यौँ भने सोसाइटी पनि अगाडि बढ्छ। द कन्सेप्ट अफ इन्डिभिजुअलिजम इज इन्क्रिजिङ इन द नेप्लिज सोसाइटी। Individualism emphasizes personal freedom, achievement, individualist culture therefore awards social status to personal accomplishments such as important discoveries, innovations, or great artistic achievement. Individualism has become a prime value in the Nepalese society, but it should be positive in sense, not in the negative sense. Positives to individualism include freedom for a person's chooses his own destiny. Several organizations are working in favor of providing individual identity to every citizens, whether they are male or female. It's significantly associated with the support for gender, like employment, income, education, political leadership, यो सिप बढाउनमा मद्दत गरेको छ। Thus, individualism is also associated with greater level of female providing employment and educational attainment and lower level of fertility. So here, we want to try to do something new, and this is the very fine example of individualism or is independent, we can say that is. In the same way, let's see grammar. Grammatical portions, passive voice. Make passive sentences from the following informations as in the example. We have already studied about the passives is structure in the previous chapters. So you can see the structures in the previous chapters as well as. Toyota cars Japan make. The answer is Toyota cars are made in Japan. Volleyball every country play. The answer is volleyball is played in every country. Spaghetti boiling water cook. Spaghetti is cooked in boiling water. Answer is each lesson an exercise follows. The answer is each lesson is followed by an exercise. Taxes the price include. Taxes are included in the price. So these are the questions. Others. Extensive information the internet find. Extensive information is found on the internet. Our order the waiter took. Our order यो took भनेको छ, took भएपछि past tense भइहाल्यो. Our order was taken by the waiter. The schedule the participants will distribute भनेको the schedule will be distributed by the participants. The police footprints found. The footprints was found by the police. यो पनि past tense मा छ, त्यसकारण हामीले यसलाई past मा लग्यौं. The children the sand castles built. The children were built by the sand castles were built by the children. यो object भइहाल्यो हाम्रो. Father windows not going to open. The window is not going to be opened by the father. The window is not going to be opened by the father. Father subject भइहाल्यो, windows object भयो, object लाई अगाडि ल्याएछ भन्नु. In the same way, other questions B. Rewrite the following sentences in the passive voice using the correct form of verbs in the brackets. So, A. Call the ambulance. 2 boys injured in the motorbike accident. So, the answer is call the ambulance. 2 boys have been injured in the motorbike accident. Question B. The clock used since 17th century. The clock has been used since the 17th century. I had to wait outside the classroom while classroom cleaned. So the answer is I had to wait outside the classroom while classroom was being cleaned. यो सफा भइरहेको बेलामा हामी बाहिर वेट गर्नु पर्थ्यो. The problem discussed by the subject specialist at the moment. The problem is being discussed by the subject specialist at the moment. So then about question E. By the time I came back, जब म फिर्ता आए, past tense मा थियो, यस्तो काम भइसकेको थियो. The task had been finished. The women say to be happier than the man. Women are said to be. Women लाई भन्ने गरिन्छ man भन्दा बढी happier. Look, the house by fire. House के भयो छ? Had been destroyed by the fire. The house was destroyed by the fire अथवा had been गऱ्यो भने बेटर छ यहाँ. The other 3 reports will be submitted by the next month. यहाँ next month छ, therefore will be. Many people have been rescued from the flood by the security persons this year. धेरै मान्छेहरूलाई यो वर्ष के गरियो त, सेक्युरिटी पर्सन्सहरूले फ्लडबाट एराडिकेट अथवा मुक्त गरे. The state of Florida was hit by a hurricane that did a serious damage. So this is about the grammatical portions, passive voice. So regarding this chapter, the Medusa and the Snail, if you have any queries, mention below in the comment section. If you need videos on any other topics or any other chapter, you can also mention below. And if you like these videos or find it interesting, share it, subscribe it, like it, and click on the bell icons to get notifications from upcoming videos. Thank you everybody for watching this. Have a good day. Goodbye.